It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What's up guys, hope you're having a great Tuesday and welcome to FPL Today. Today we're going to go over 3 players that I think are worth watching moving forward into Game Week 4 and beyond. But before we get into the video, hit that like button and I'm sure you'll have a great Game Week 4. Because Game Week 3 went amazingly, didn't it? Anyway, what a crazy week Game Week 3 was, with Wolves and Manchester City both losing games that I think it's fair to say most people thought they would win. Man United getting a penalty after the final whistle was blown in a game where Brighton looked like they could have taken the victory. And Chelsea going in at half-time 3-0 down to West Brom. A lot of the big sides not looking too impressive in Game Week 3. And of course with plenty of handball decisions that we could discuss for years. I'm going to try and pick out some players that you maybe didn't notice had really good game weeks that could take their form on into Game Week 4 and beyond. So we start off with Harry Kane. Yes, he managed to get an assist in Game Week 3 and he played in a game where Tottenham Hotspurs drew with Newcastle 1-1. Now, a lot of the talking points will be about the Eric Dyer handball, and we could talk about the handball and VAR for donkey's years, but Harry Kane actually had a very good game. Now, a caveat here before I do go over his performance and stats is the fact that Heung-min Son does look like he's injured, and I do think Heung-min Son is a very important player for Tottenham Hotspurs. But Harry Kane has started to look like maybe not the Harry Kane of old necessarily, because he does drop deeper now and does seem to have a lot more creativity to his game and not necessarily just the out-and-out goal scorer he was. But he did have some good stats and a good performance overall, and Tottenham Hotspurs could have scored more than the 1 goal they scored in this game quite easily. Heung-min Son hit the post twice, and plenty of other players had their opportunities too, but Kane did look very good in this game. Although he only got 1 assist, he did have 8 shots on goal, which is the most for any player in Game Week 3. He also had 5 shots on target, 7 of which came from inside the box, also the highest for the game week, with big chances at 2. That gave him an XG of 1.48, which is the second highest, just behind Jamie Vardy, who of course had the penalties to boost his XG stat. Now, of course, you could look at that XG and go, well, he should have really scored then, but 1.48 in a game is a very impressive figure. He also had 2 key passes with 1 big chance created and an expected assist of 0.74, so Harry Kane is bringing both goal threat and creativity. Now, I would say it's a wait and see and watch their next game to see how he performs without Heung-min Son in the side, but the numbers and the performance are there for Harry Kane to perhaps come back into my FPL thinking, because I have left him in the dark for a while now. The next player we're looking at is Thomas Souček, who at 5 million was the most talked about probably budget option in FPL before the season started. However, after 2 game weeks without any returns, despite the fact he did have some clear attacking threat, people have kind of stopped talking about him, and then of course, as soon as that happens, he turns up with an assist in a game where West Ham beat Wolves 4-0, which I don't think anyone saw coming. I especially didn't, because I bought in Sice, and that was a clean sheet I was kind of really hoping for and didn't get. But my woes aside from Game Week 3, Thomas Souček did look good and West Ham looked good in this game. Now, there are definitely some other options we could be considering from West Ham, Jared Bowen and Michael Antonio, both being great options, but Souček at 5 million is one of those players that can enable you to spend money elsewhere. He managed to get 6 points in this game from 90 minutes played with 1 assist. He had 5 shots on goal, which is the second highest for any midfielder in Game Week 3, joined with the likes of Solly March from Brighton, who also had a great game, and Sadio Mane. All of those being behind Mason Mount, who had a good 7 shots on goal in the game against West Brom. He also had 2 shots on target, which put him in the same bracket as Havertz, Barnes, Bowen and Lucas Moura for Game Week 3. And he also had 4 of those shots come from inside the box, which puts him joint first with Mane and March for Game Week 3 for midfielders with shots inside the box. But what we do like to see is that XG at 0.94, which also put him second for midfielders for XG, and he was also joint top with big chances of 2 in the game week for midfielders for Game Week 3 as well. So those stats put him at the top of the pile for Game Week 3 as far as midfielders are concerned, along with the likes of Mane and March, which is absolutely great numbers for a midfielder that comes in at 5 million. And on Fanteam you can get him for even cheaper than that, and he could potentially help you win part of a €1 million prize pool. Put your FPL skills to the test and turn €25 into a €200,000 payday. With 1 million in leaderboard prizes, there's plenty of money up for grabs. Pick your squad of 15 players with a 100 million budget, and pick the players that will earn you a cool part of that €1 million prize pool. And if you like daily and weekly fantasy games too, there's even more money to be won. So join Fanteam today and start to make money playing FPL using the link in the description down below. And the last player we'll look at is Leandro Trossard at 6 million from Brighton Hove Albion, who played in a side that were probably very unlucky not to come away with a victory against Manchester United. Now don't get me wrong, Manchester United took their chances well, and within the rules of the game at the moment, that is a penalty and was a lot clearer than other penalty decisions over the weekend. But definitely have to feel a bit of disappointment for Brighton Hove Albion that played amazingly well in this game. And I wouldn't just look at Leandro Trossard in this side. Mbappe could be an option up front. Alzate looked good in midfield, and March looked really good as the left wing back, as well as of course Lamptey, who played as right wing back, who looked very good as well. But Trossard could have quite easily had 1 or 2 goals in this game, which would have made his point total look a lot better than the 1 point scored in this game for 90 minutes played, because he had no goals or assists, but he did get a hat-trick of woodwork shots as he hit the post and crossbar multiple times. He had 4 shots on goal in total, with 1 on target, 2 from inside the box and 2 big chances, with an XG of 0.74, 2 key passes played with an XA of 0.12, but it's just the positions he was taking up against that Man United side and the quality of his shots that on another given game week he could have had a much better return than he did in this one. And to be honest, Brighton looked like a great way of getting some players that are cheap enough for you to afford the big hitters elsewhere. With their performance against Chelsea and Man United, although of course I do believe that Chelsea and Man United are not up to speed just yet with the way they have been performing, and their performance against Newcastle, I do really think Brighton Hove Albion could be an important side for us to look at as Potter gets his second season in charge of Brighton Hove Albion, and maybe his tactics are finally really seeping into that side and their performances are definitely seeming to improve to match that theory. Anyway guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you have enjoyed it, you know exactly what to do to help me out and make more content for you guys. That's hit that like button, hit that subscribe and that notification bell. It's free and it really helps the channel out. In the comments down below, let me know anyone that you think should have been included in this watch list. And make sure to be back here tomorrow for the team selection video, where we will go over how many points I just about managed to score, and also what I'm planning to do and what my team lineup will look like for game week 4. With that being said, I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, if it hits the hand, it's probably handball now, unfortunately.